Hello, welcome to StatLearn Tech. So in this video we will understand what is the difference between a compiler and an interpreter, and we will understand that why Python is an interpreted language. Okay, so let's move ahead and understand that why do we need compiler and interpreter. So what happens is when you have source code written in Python and Java or other high level kind of languages, then these source code could be understood by a human, could be easily readable by a human, but your machine cannot understand it what you are instructing it to do. So we need a compiler or an interpreter to convert this source code into from a high level language into a low level language or machine readable language, you can say. Okay, so we will understand what is the process of a compiler and an interpreter of converting the high level to a low level or machine level language. Okay, so first let's concentrate on compilation or compiler. Okay, so let's first see what is a compiler. Okay, so as you can see from the diagram that you have a source code which is pre-processed to an executable code, and then the processing start to the machine, that is the executable code is executed by the machine. So let's understand it deeply. Suppose you have a compilation language like Java. Java is a compile time language. Okay, so what happens is you have a source code of Java, and now this source code is converted to a bytecode, or you can say executable code, and this is done in the pre-processing part, means the whole code will be converted to an executable code, right? Now this executable code is fed to the machine. Okay, so when this executable code is fed to the machine reads the code and execute the code. So what happened, your source code was actually converted to an executable code using the compiler, right? Now what is the thing is, the executable code, you can see that code in your file system or wherever your program is being saved. You can see that code is not hidden to the user. Instead that code is used to transfer it to other operating system so that it could be made operating system independent, or you can say platform independent, right? But in the case of interpretation or interpreter, what happens is, suppose you have a language like Python which is interpreted language. So what happens is you have a source code. Now this source code is again pre-processed to an intermediate code, but the main difference comes here. For your compiler language or compile time language, the whole source code was converted to an executable code, right? But in a interpreted language, suppose you have a code of 100 lines, then what will happen, the first line will be converted to an intermediate code or a byte code, and now this first line will be interpreted or executed by the machine, right? So you have a source code, first line is pre-processed to an intermediate code and then processed by the interpreter to execute it. Again second line will be fed to the pre-processing system, it will convert it to the intermediate code, and again the processing will be done by the interpreter. So what happened is, not your whole program, but line by line your program is being fed to the intermediate code or preprocessor, and it is converted to a intermediate code or a byte code, and then that byte code is fed to the interpreter to execute. So the difference comes here, whole program is firstly pre-processed in a compile time language, and line by line your program is compiled to or pre-processed to a intermediate code in case of an interpreter. Now what is the advantage of being a compile time language or being an interpreted language? Okay, so we will go with the compile time language first. So what happens is, when you have a source code like 100 lines of code, and that whole 100 lines are firstly converted to executable code, so now you have that executable code with you. Okay, it may take 5 minutes, it may take 5 seconds to convert it to an executable code, but now when you have the executable code, you can transfer it to different machines, not only to the Windows machine, you can transfer it to an Ubuntu, or you can transfer it to a Mac, and it could be executed without again converting it to a bytecode or the intermediate executable code. But suppose you have interpreted language, in this case, when you have like a pre-processed your source code to an intermediate code, it happens line by line. So that intermediate code is hidden from the user. It is not like you can access the intermediate code again. Okay, once your program execution is done, that intermediate code is gone, so you don't have access to that intermediate code. So what happened in case of compiler, you have the access to executable code, so you can transfer it easily. But it's not the case that in interpreted language you don't transfer the code. You don't transfer the executable code, but you transfer the source code, right? So well, let's look at the advantage of being an interpreted language. So suppose you have 100 lines of code, so and you have an error in line number 50 and line number 80. So what will happen in compilation or compile time language? Your first 100 lines are converted to an executable code, then it will show that it had an error in line number 50 and it had an error in line number 80, and now you cannot run a program. Okay, but in case of interpreted language, what happened is first 49 lines were correct. Okay, so it will be fed to the intermediate code system, that is pre-processed. It will be pre-processed and then it will be executed by the interpreter. Okay, but when line number 50 will come, it will be pre-processed, it will show an error, your program will be terminated. So what happened, your 49 lines did executed, but the 50th line which was having the problem, it just showed that this is the problem, it cannot proceed. So what happened, your program didn't stop till it got an error. But in case of compile line language, your program didn't even executed till the 49th line because it had an error. Okay, so here you have a structure or diagram showing that how Python interpreter is made. So what happened is, you have a Python code. Now this Python code is fed to the syntax checker and translator, and this syntax checker and translator is nothing but the intermediate code generator, or you can say a compiler. You can say it like a compiler, which is actually generating the byte code, means the intermediate code. And then this intermediate code or the byte code is fed as an input to the Python virtual machine, and this Python virtual machine is nothing but the thing which executes your code. Okay, so what happened, you have a code, it gone through the syntax checker and translator, it converted your code into a byte code. This byte code is fed to the Python virtual machine. Python virtual machine executed that code and shown you the output. So this is the simple working. But how you can say that this is an interpreted language? Because it actually used a compiler to convert your byte code to an input for the Python virtual machine. Okay, so let's understand it in this way. What happens is, you have Python code, it's converted to intermediate code, right? But your intermediate code is hidden from the user, and second thing, your whole code was not fed to the syntax checker and translator. Instead, a single line of code was fed to the syntax checker and translator, converted to byte code, and then it was executed. Again, the second line of code was given to the syntax checker and translator, converted to byte code, and then it was executed by PVM or Python virtual machine. So that is why when we say that what is Python, an interpreted or compile time language, so although it uses a compiler to convert it to a byte code, but overall this is the whole structure of the Python interpreter only, because what it does is it executes your code line by line, and it doesn't saves your intermediate file. Well, you can save your intermediate file using different commands, but by default this is not its behavior. Okay, so this was all about being an interpreted or being a compile time language. From next video we will start with the Python coding, and for that you will need the Python interpreter in your system. So I have already created a video of how to install Python in your system, and you can see in the I button that the video is flashing. So go there, have the Python system installed if you don't already have installed it in your system. If you have installed it, you don't need to go and watch it, just watch the next video to continue your Python learning. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.